Just wondering, when you looked at the preseason game, obviously with so many guys out and so many guys in different roles, it's hard to take stuff, I'm sure. But what can you take out of how you guys performed that sort of has meaning beyond just one night?
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing is we won the game. I mean, we know it doesn't go towards the record or anything like that. None of these stats carry over to the regular season, but the habit of winning, the expectation of winning, is something that is paramount here, and we were able to take care of that. Obviously, the game wasn't as as smooth as we would like to see, but that's to be expected. Rust, new players, all that be as it may. Stuff that we still need to continue to work on, stuff that we got better at today. But it was good to get out there to compete with these guys, and most importantly, come away with the win. And we played hard from start to finish, and so that's one thing that's also very important, is never questioning effort or anything like that. It's just about execution and shaking off a little bit of rust.
Bill, are you good to ask your question?
I'll be really fast. I'm just letting my kid play with some sharp things for a minute. Wesley, in this short period of time, what have you learned about Frank, and what has kind of been what have you taken away from this first week with him?
He's a very personable coach. He's very hands-on. He's very in tune with his players. He's very adaptable. But he demands excellence, and that's what you expect. That's what you want. You know, a guy that's going to keep everybody accountable, keep himself accountable, and demands the most out of his players, demands everything out of us. But he talks, he listens, and he's a great communicator. And so far, everything's smooth.
Is that it for you? Yeah. So Dan?
Hey Wes, Dan White here with the LA Times. Thanks for not bringing anything from your personal life to work today. We really appreciate your professionalism. Last night, after the game, LeBron tweeted that he thought Talen was going to be special. Jared tweeted something similar. What was your awareness of him prior to joining this team, and I guess what has he shown you in camp?
Man, honestly, with the most respect, I didn't have any awareness of him, truthfully. And it wasn't until in the game that I even knew how old he was. Kawhi was like, hey, Wes, is Talen's 19? I'm like, huh? Oh, 19. So I asked him, he's like, yeah, I just turned 20. I'm like, wow. So, I mean, special is definitely the word to describe his game. He's young, but he's got all the tools. He's a dog. He's tough on the offensive end, defensive end. He's crafty. He's got some stuff to him, and he's only going to get better. I mean, obviously, he's learning from one of the best to ever touch a basketball, and he's just going to continue to grind and continue to work. And I'm excited to hopefully try to be a part of his growth and process.
Alan Slewa?
Hey Wes, hey, just want to get your thoughts. How long in a I guess you could say a regular schedule, how long does it usually take for you personally to get to the point in the season where you feel like, all right, your endurance is at top peak, the timing is on? How long does that usually take? And I know this is different from what we got coming up this year, but I'm curious to know what that usually takes for someone like you.
Genuinely, I mean, if this was regular circumstance, I think that I would be almost at, NBA regular season game shape right now. That's how I try to tailor my off seasons and stuff like that. Obviously, this being a completely different, year. It's been a little bit different, but I still feel very confident in by game one, opening night, that I'll be where I need to be. I play both ends of the court extremely hard. I give you everything that I have. It takes a lot. It's hard to replicate, what I do, which is, hound people on the defensive end, chase over screens, be physical on the defensive end, take screens, and then fly down the court and be ready to shoot the longest shot in the game. but it's something that my body is conditioned for. And, being in camp with this team, with these guys, going up against guys like LeBron and Kuz and AD, and then having the first night be against Kawhi and PG, it's just going to speed the curve up. So, I'm feeling better and better every single day, especially with this condensed and awkward offseason.
Eric Williams.
Hey Wes, just want to ask you where you're at in terms of defensively building that chemistry with the rest of the group, and how tough is it to build that chemistry in this condensed format without a lot of time training?
This is year 12, so I've seen a lot of defensive schemes. This one's pretty unique, but it's not something that can't be picked up. And it's just getting the nuances of it. Understanding what everybody's strong at, what everybody. Just basically that's it. How do we mesh everybody's strengths and make sure that they all coexist with what the defensive scheme is. For myself, it's a little bit of a change because rather than navigating through screens, now they're just saying, hey, look, bust over, you're going to have help, And so that's an adjustment for me, whereas I was always, if I didn't make the stop, it was going to be tough. And so kind of not gearing myself back a little bit, but understanding that I'm funneling people into, LeBron and Marc Gasol and AD and all the other defenders that this team has, as opposed to just, playing 1v2 or 1v1 around the screen.
Last three here, we'll go Brad Turner.
Hello, Wes. So Kawhi does talk, huh?
Yeah. I guess to certain people, I must be lucky.
I was just wondering, how would you compare last night's game, even though it's playing at Staples with no fans, to the bubble? And will this be a challenging thing to find energy all season long with no fans in the arenas?
I don't think so because, once you compete, you compete. Like right now, we just had a hell of a practice. We were competing. The energy was high, and there was no fans in there. The majority of our games, the majority of our work spent is behind closed doors. There's not fans. And then, we were down in the bubble for 2-3 months of playing without fans. We can't wait for fans to come back, and they make the game. But as far as the awkwardness and all that, I think, for myself personally, that's all I really can speak on. It's not that much of an adjustment right now, having gone through what we've gone through in the bubble.
Melissa Rowland.
Hey Wes, all season long last season, all the players kept talking about how good chemistry was. And obviously there's a lot of new pieces, you being among them. I'm curious, were you struck by how good this team's chemistry was? And what would have been your takeaways, just like in the locker room from your short time there so far?
Everybody's got jokes. It's a funny group. It's a tight-knit group. It's a funny group, but it's full of inclusion. It's not one of those teams where, we've been here, we won championships, and we kind of have our thing, and then you guys got to figure it out along the way. It's been inclusion from day one. It's been excitement from day one. It's been feeling like a team and a family since day one. And obviously, there's going to be more chemistry to build, once we go through more stuff, live games, real games, road games, and that chemistry will continue to build. That trust will continue to be there. Guys like myself will continue to try to earn the trust of not only the coaching staff but team. And but so far, they've done an amazing job of making everybody feel included and a part of this.
Okay, and the last question, we're going to go back to Bill Gorham, who has a follow-up.
Hey, Wesley, you've made your so much of your identity is tied to you being undrafted, and that really has been just such a big part of your story. So as it relates to Talen, do you feel more kindred with him because different? He was a second-round pick, but does that affect the way you try to help him or mentor someone in that position as he's kind of fighting for his spot here?
I really try to mentor anybody in any way, whether they were the first pick, second pick, third pick, second round, undrafted, overseas, doesn't matter. If I have something to pay back to the game, I'm going to do that regardless. But obviously, I have more experience of being in that undrafted second round pick type of niche than, you know, being a lottery pick and having these expectations of you to, you know, carry a franchise or take X amount of shots a game. You know, I can relate a little bit more and easier to guys who are in my similar situation where you got to really go get it out the mud. And but that doesn't take away from any of those other guys. I mean, I look at a Kuz, you know, who was a lottery pick, I believe, and same time picked as Lonzo, and Lonzo's the second pick, and he gets all the hype, and then Kuz, which you know, top 2 picks are supposed to get, but you know, you got Kuz who's just kind of flying under the radar and just working and just working and just working, and he develops a niche within himself. So I resonate with everybody, but to answer your question more specifically, yeah, it's a little bit easier to be a mentor to those who I can really fully relate to.